Guess what? It's Shannon Nicole Kringen, otherwise known as Goddess KRING. It is Saturday, right? August 24th, 2024. What's in store? I'm feeling the desire to slow down and evaluate my desires, my goals. As you know, I'm on the autism spectrum, and I don't say this from a place of being a victim or of pigeonholing myself or stereotyping myself. Typecast, I like to say in my poem, typecast, my dragon sleeps, monkey moon coming soon, phases of seeing the gray balloon. And I think what that means is those phrases just popped into my head and I wrote them down. But I think what those phrases means, typecast, my dragon sleeps, monkey moon coming soon, phases of seeing the gray balloon. Meaning liberate yourself from the cage, liberate yourself from typecasting yourself. There is neuroplasticity. So, who I am I Shannon Kringen in this body? Is my soul really who I am? Is this body and personality who I am? Am I my childhood? Am I the way that I am? Was I born this way, or was it because of the way I was raised, the condition of society? Who am I and why am I here? I wrote an essay. When I say that I'm on the autism spectrum, I'm going to preface this video by saying the way I interpret being told that I'm on the autism spectrum is that it makes sense why I would not like alcohol. I've never got into drinking alcohol. I never had kids or got married. I'm an only child. And I kind of live in my own dream world. And I'm not that I'm unintelligent. I'm very intelligent and sensitive, but I march to the beat of a different drummer. And I have the road less traveled as my normal way of life. I think some people think I'm trying to be weird. Maybe I'm too self-conscious and I shouldn't be talking about myself. People accuse me of being a narcissist. People who don't like what I do, I should say. There's plenty of people who say positive things and say that they like my creativity. Um, I'm generally very self-conscious, and I feel like when I first started sharing my art in a public way in the 1990s, I was more naive and romantic about it and had more guts. And then I got a lot of feedback from people who liked what I did or didn't like what I did. And then I got really defensive and self-conscious, like I wanted to please people who liked what I did and prove something to people who didn't like what I did. And that is like a trap for a creative person to get so self-conscious that they kind of get in their own way. So I just want to read Shannon Nicole Kringen Thoughts, Goddess KRING, August 24th, 2024. Here's my stream of consciousness essay for today. And I know that a lot of people find me annoying, but this is the way I express myself. So take it or leave it. Good luck to everyone. I like to say, be yourself no matter what they say. That's a line from a Sting song I love called Englishman in New York. Really wanting to figure out how to organize my photos, my videos, all my creative projects. I'm doing music, poetry, photos, video, pet sitting, art modeling, all of it, my artwork, the things I do for a living. I just kind of surf all these different waves. I guess that's my style. So maybe I should make a documentary film just documenting the random chaosness of my life. I don't know if I can really put together a linear story, but well, very well, but probably going to have to find other people that want to make a film with me. But the classic Goddess KRING style of making a movie would be to do it in my own strange improv chaos way, maybe. And maybe that the way that I share online already is me documenting my life. And pretty much my whole life is like an ongoing show and tell documentary anyway. But I do like the idea of actually writing a storyboard, a storyline, like a script. Not really a script though, because I want the dialogue to be improv. but tell a story in a filmmaking way, in a feature-length film that is technically in the parameters of a conventional movie. The Northwest Film Forum has a theater that people can rent. Maybe there's other options as well. Would be cool to have a visual art show and a movie screening and share multimedia creativity that I do. It would be interesting to have a show of my visual art and videos in a movie on my art and my art car, fill up an entire room with paintings and drawings that artists have done of me over the years. I've been an art model since 1992. So I've had many different people paint me and draw me and sculpt me and photograph me over the years in my likeness. Maybe I could see if there's interest in people who have drawn me and painted me to display their work in public. This is just an idea that I have. I don't know if I'll ever actually do this. Um, and let's see, I work with medical students as a standardized patient. I work as a figure model, and I'm doing less of that now. I'm doing more pet sitting, taking care of pets, working with medical students. Let's see, kind of trying to tell the story of my life in a linear way might be a challenge, especially for someone like me that has total improv chaos brain. I also like the idea of having other people interview me who like my show or my art, interview me or I interview them about how my art affected them, because my TV show, it was mostly just me doing monologues by myself solo. So I was thinking that a departure from that would be to involve other people more and have dialogues or interviews with other people, whether they're interviewing me or I interview them. So that's like a thought that like my TV show, my public access Goddess KRING TV show was, me solo. And then when I would try to be a guest on other people's show or have other people be a guest on my show, I had a tendency, I still have a tendency when I work with other people to just start laughing and being bashful. I just, it's like I don't know how to be Goddess KRING, in an intense, powerful, serious way when I work with other people. I tend to clam up and get shy. And I recently posted a video of myself in the 4th of July Bothell art car parade that I was in. Well, it was a parade and I was an art car in the parade. And I just am struck by how I drive around in my art car and I wave at people and smile, but I just kind of laugh in this sort of self-conscious, bashful way instead of dressing up in a costume and being very like animated and acting like Goddess KRING with face paint and all of that, I kind of retreat into a more shy persona. So perhaps if somebody else interviews me for the documentary film that I want to make, I could talk about how I am shy and that's why I partly do what I do. But I don't know, what kind of story do I want to tell? Um, So I do improvisational art that way. Partly my brain is nonlinear and I see patterns and connect the dots in my own kind of way. Maybe this helps me create a unique style of art and poetry and music and painting and photography, etc. So maybe if I do a movie, I should just go with my strange style, my eccentric, nonlinear, non-chronological order, random chaos. That's my style. But I would like to actually tell a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end that would be interesting and compelling and engaging to the audience. But I guess what I really need to do is create something that I think is interesting, that I love and trust. There's an audience out there for that. And if not, if it's completely not connecting with an audience, at least I'll know that I really am an eccentric person that doesn't quite know how to connect with an audience. And maybe that's okay too, because every single person is totally unique, and that's a literal fact. And maybe that's totally fine. We're all here together, and yet we're all completely different at the same time. So I've always been intrigued by that. That's something I wrote recently or today, basically. That is my improvisational way of expressing myself today. We're all totally unique, and yet we're all here together. And so, obviously, the reason why I videotape myself is to try to express something and connect with you, the audience. I don't know who's listening to this right now. I definitely watch my videos after I do them. And I'm not really interested in people who have mean things to say to me that are disrespectful. For a while, I thought, oh, maybe I'm a narcissist because I like to take 50 million, trillion, billion, thousand pictures of myself. But I like to think that I'm a photographer and a model and an actor. When I photograph myself, I feel like I'm trying to create something beautiful. I'm trying to express a different side of my personality. A part of why I take a lot of photos of myself is because when other people photograph me, because I like to model, other people photograph me, I tend to get really shy and don't look very good. And then when I photograph myself, it's a relief because I'm not afraid to fully be confident and look as beautiful as possible, make the best of my DNA, make the best of me being a model on camera and looking good in the camera. And it's painful to me that when other people photograph me, I get a weird look on my face, like I'm like, ooh, like I'm worried or like I'm insecure and like I'm not sure. I mean, I've worked with a lot of professional photographers and they tell me, because your chin, they're like chin up, chin down, like these lines show, to be a good model means you need good lighting. I don't have any makeup on right now. I'm just a very natural person today, but I generally don't wear makeup. Um, but in order to create a beautiful photo with a photographer, you really do have to have good lighting and a good angle, and you have to have a self-confidence and not be afraid to ham it up and look good on camera and kind of show off, basically. And some people think that's really shallow and they judge it. Now imagine if Tom Petty, when he wrote his music, they told him he sounded like Bob Dylan, and instead of getting embarrassed and thinking, oh no, I don't want people to think I'm copying Bob Dylan or trying to sound like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, okay, it's very Dylan-y. So I'm glad that he interpreted that as a compliment. He's like, wow, thank you. I didn't even know I could sound like Bob Dylan. So his way of interpreting it was to not get too self-conscious about it and just like keep doing his music. So I'm glad he did that. So I need to do that. Shannon Kringen needs to just keep doing the art that I believe in. But it's true, I run the risk of my art being me being really self-conscious and explaining myself. Um, so I guess my main projects right now are work on making a film, a documentary about my life, my public access show, write a memoir kind of book, autobiography, creative book, keep working on music, basically keep writing poetry and publishing it with Interactive Jack Records and Dave Flowers, Superflower. Modeling, photography, painting, abstract style. I'm just making it up as I go, maybe having goals. It doesn't even matter. Maybe just keeping the free form improv going and just create as much as I can for my entire life. Maybe that's my purpose on this earth, to share it with whoever wants to see it. I'll learn as I go. I'm open to whatever interesting opportunities come my way and collaborating with other people on these multimedia projects. It does seem like my best work is mostly solo, but I have collaborated with some great artists when I model, and the music I'm doing right now with Dave Flowers is a huge collaboration with another person, and that is maybe a new thing for me to really collaborate with another person. I have collaborated well with some painters and some photographers who use me as a model. Um, but I think a lot of my strongest art has been solo, and my paintings and my photography. My art car I did totally by myself. I've been gluing rhinestones, acrylic gemstones onto my Honda Fit for 3 years, and it's really elaborately done, and it's very intricate and ornate, and people have told me they like it, and I'm happy to hear that feedback. Um, let's see. Maybe that's my autism, where I work best by myself, and that gets interpreted as a form of narcissism by some people. And yet I feel most comfortable when I work mostly alone. And yet I do long to connect and collaborate with other people, but only if I can really use my talent to the best of my ability and not feel like I'm watering it down or something or getting all shy and clamming up around other people. That's part of why I like to work alone, because I'm not shy when I'm by myself. But when I work with other people, I tend to feel like I'm a clam that's hiding in her shell. And I don't know why I do that, but that's just me being really sensitive in a certain way. And I need to relax and bloom like a flower. Basically, when I do the best art that I can, I think that's the way it seems anyway. So when people tell me don't overthink, but I love to think. So that's another conundrum of mine is, yeah, I guess I worry too much about what other people think, because people who admire me think that I don't care about what other people think of me, but I do feel crippled in ripples of fear. And I feel sometimes, and I feel self-conscious. So here I am just doing a video monologue. This is my self-conscious video monologue of me just spilling my guts for today. And it's August 24th, 2024. And I'm in the middle of doing a pet sit. And I am taking care of a dog and a cat that live together and going back and forth between my house and their house and making sure all the animals are happy and everything is good in my life at my house, and taking care of my house plants and trying to juggle all of this different grief feelings I have. I went to the ocean a few days ago and went camping, and I have a certain grief about previous experiences I had with previous boyfriends, 2006 and 2003, mixed with my 2024. So everything is just, scrambled up in my head. And I probably need to go for a nice brisk walk in nature, just kind of walk in nature. I'm excited about the new to ground myself in nature and get some good exercise and clean and organize my space and relax a little. I'm pretty busy all the time with my many different jobs, art modeling, pet sitting, standardized patient for med students, and trying to continue eating healthy and exercising, getting enough sleep and hydration, taking good care of myself, making music, writing poetry, turning it into music, publishing my own poetry book, publishing my own art books and poetry books, trying to figure out how to organize all of this. Everything I do is improvisational. When I pose for art classes, I make up the poses as I go. I don't refer to art books, although I have taken art history. So when I pose, I know how to pose in a way that's aesthetic and asymmetrical so they can practice drawing and get interesting shapes happening in the frame. Same thing when I take photographs. I'm composing shots. When I model, I'm creating shapes in the frame. And when I paint or draw or photograph, I'm creating, shapes in the frame. Thinking about storytelling in filmmaking. Now I'm thinking about the story because when I film video, I'm looking at the composition and I'm thinking, okay, how do I tell a story? The story of Goddess KRING. Why did she do her TV show? Public access. How did it affect the audience? How was the audience affected by the Goddess KRING show? How am I, Shannon Kringen, affected by the audience? That's why I think that perhaps involving other people in my documentary is the way to do it, because my public access TV show was me on camera solo pretty much for 15 years. Whenever I would try to have other people on my show, I would just get really shy and I didn't know how to be Goddess Kring with other people. I would just get shy and laugh and just act bashful. But maybe that's interesting to see that my personality changes around other people. When I'm by myself, I do this Goddess Kring thing, or I'm comfortable opening myself up in this way. And then around other people, I get more shy and I'm more introverted and I clam up generally. Although I've taken some acting classes, I've taken 5 or 6 acting classes, and honestly, I'm not as good at it as I want to be because I'm introverted and shy. And they say that when you act, the feedback I've gotten from acting teachers is that I'm holding back too much. I need to let go and stop holding back. I don't know how to do that. So I'm doing the best I can. I've always wanted to communicate and connect with the general public in an audience performer kind of way, or maybe just in a human trying to learn. I'm looking into the mirror, I'm looking into the camera lens and trying to figure out how to express something to you with you. And I also I'm going to watch and listen to this video. I'm probably going to upload this video to YouTube and then take a walk and listen to what I said and go, what am I trying to say? And, maybe my friends that tell me to stop overthinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I need to stop thinking so much and just not be so self-conscious. I mean, like, I like to be self-aware. Like, personal growth is important to me. But maybe I've just overdone that and I'm so self-conscious that I'm in my own way of doing my own art. So that's another reason why I love doing my art car, gluing sparkly things all over my car in a very unique design, similar to these two hats back here. I painted this hat for Tom Petty in 1992, and I painted this hat more recently. And these are just shapes that I make up as I go, and my art car is the same. My art car is the same. My art car is improvisational design. And when I do my face paint, it's totally improvisational. I make it up as I go, and everything I do is improv. So whether it's music or poetry or visual art. So yeah, I guess I'm just here now. Maybe it doesn't matter if I make a documentary film, but I would like to make a documentary film about my public access TV show. And I think I want to interview. I have a couple, I think two female fans and two male friends. All four of them have said they would like to be interviewed on camera, or maybe three. I think I have five people. I think I have two females and three males who would like to be interviewed on camera and be in our film, either interviewed about my show or they could interview me about my art or my show. And about maybe we can interview each other back and forth and talk about how we were affected by what I did. I'm trying to figure out what kind of story I'm trying to tell. I mean, maybe I could just do a series. Like, I've had my YouTube channel since 2005 and I have over 900 videos, but I have less than 2,000 subscribers. So my YouTube channel honestly is not very popular. And I don't know if that's because of the algorithm. I've been around for a long time. I'm in my 50s. I'm not like somebody that's, 22 years old and really hot. Um, what am I? Like, I'm a all over the map kind of person, and I'm not like, I'm doing what I believe in and sharing it on YouTube. If you want to join and like and subscribe my YouTube channel, feel free. And I want more of our music to be listened to. If you go to Apple, Pandora, if you just search Goddess KRING Music, KringFLOWERS Music, Shannon Kringen Music, you will find our music and it's free to listen. We have 11 original songs on our first album, plus 2 singles, Swirly Girl and Polarized Landscape. I wrote all the lyrics. Well, Dave wrote some of the lines and a couple of the songs, but 95% of the lyrics is Shannon Kringen lyrics and my voice. And we're continuing to work on music. So I would love to be more popular on YouTube. But then again, ever since I was a little kid, I realized, no, I just want to share what I share and be genuine and not try to be popular for the sake of being popular. Um, and then there's somebody who's nitpicking on me about, somebody said, don't do so many selfies. I want to see your real art. Why do you do so many selfies? And it's like, well, wait, part of my art is my selfies. So if somebody thinks my self-portraits are not part of my art, then they really don't understand where I'm coming from. But that's none of my business. That's, this book that I published, Art, Identity, and the Sacred, that is a self-portrait right there with a painting of mine, a transparent layer, an abstract painting of mine with a transparent layer of my face. And a lot of my art is self-portraits. So there's, in fact, a whole chapter in this book. If I can find it, there's a whole chapter in this book that is self-portraits. Like part of why I do self-portraits though is because, okay, like me, oh gosh, my computer's doing something weird here. Okay. Here's an interesting page. My eyeball reflected. I call this eye bolt. This is uh, a staple gun that I accidentally, this was before I had a flip screen, so I couldn't see what I was doing. I just guessed and it lined perfectly up. So my pupil lined perfectly up with the bolt. I think that's a pretty powerful self-portrait. And this is my face through Mylar. So I think I've done, and I'll do another video where I talk more about I think I will do a video about self-portraits. I will. So this is just like an example, like part of my art is, this actually is a quick sketch drawn by Joe Reno, who's a semi-famous artist who was in the Seattle Art Fair recently, but um, Joey Reno, or wait, is his name Joe Reno? I hope that got the name right, but whatever. That's a quick drawing, a quick 20-minute sketch that he did of me a few years ago, but never mind. So I don't know what I'm saying, but, and then here's my smartphone, this is my art printed on my phone, like face paint that I did and a painting of mine, black and white photo and a transparent layer of painting. So this is just part of what I do. Oh yeah, here's more. More self-portraits. So this is part of my art. So when people say, hey, don't do so many self-portraits, show us your real art, I'm like, well, part of my actual art is, you know, I don't have a problem with other artists. I love Frida Kahlo and Yayoi Kusama, who has herself in a lot of her art. I like Van Gogh self-portraits, Rembrandt self-portraits, all the artists that have done, Cindy Sherman, all of the interesting people. Laurie Anderson is a performance artist who a lot of her work involves her own face and her own voice. And so I guess I've always wanted to be sort of an actor and a performer and a model and a visual artist. And I don't think I can really separate it out. So part of what makes me tick is to do self-portraits, is to do self-expression. But I can see why some people don't like, they think it comes off as narcissism. Maybe when you're an actor and a performer and you're saying that you're a visual artist. So maybe part of me is somebody who wants to be an actress, but I don't know if I can let my own regular Shannon self go, because in order to be an actress, literally be an actress, I would have to let go of my actual personality and step into other characters. Which is what I think I'm heading in the direction of doing when I do self-portraits. When I look different in every self-portrait, I do feel like different sides of me come through. But I'm a bit shy and a bit introverted. So maybe I'm afraid to fully embody the multifacetedness of my personality. I think every human is fascinating. Every single human is completely unique. So when I do my art, I feel like I'm trying to amplify, like amplified chameleon getting her dreams on, is what I like to say. Amplified chameleon getting her dreams on. I don't know if everybody is as dynamic as me, but I feel like my personality is dynamic. Part of me is very loud, part of me is very quiet. Part of me wants to dress up in a costume and put lots of makeup on or face paint on and look really bright and colorful. Part of me wants to be very natural and to wear no makeup and wear, like, I love this new raincoat I got at the thrift store that's like flesh colored. I love this color. It just blends in. It's very mellow. It's very soft and subtle and earthy. I love earth tones. So there's all kinds of tragic things happening in the world, and I do care about all of the war and drama in the world, but I don't feel like there's anything I can do about a lot of it. So that's why I'm sitting here in Seattle and recording myself into my camera, feeling very grateful that I'm alive, very grateful for my health, feel very sad for people that are suffering and in tragic parts of the world. I don't have control over the entire world. I'm one individual person. I can only affect family, friends, you, the community, local community, whoever listens to this video. I hope that you can feel grateful and love your life and do whatever you believe in that's good for you and your friends and your family and your community. I mean, what can I do other than, I'm here in Seattle earning a living, taking care of myself, trying to love my family and my friends, trying to just do my best and be a good person. I think people put a lot of guilt and shame trips on each other, thinking that we all have to go and try to save the world. We're focused on what's happening in the mass media and arguing about the drama and the pros and the cons and who do we think are heroes and villains. We're all arguing about, or a lot of people are debating and arguing about what's right, what's wrong, who's a hero, who's a villain, thinking that they can fix everything or save everything. What can we actually do, each of us as individuals anyway? So there's my thoughts on that. So thanks for listening. I'm going to close the video out. Art, identity, and the sacred. So I'll talk maybe in another video about my self-portraits. Bye for now. This is Shannon Kring and Goddess Kring in Seattle. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for being here.